You are now listening to the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Whoa! Okay. I'm ready.
Welcome to Split Your Head, a bi-weekly podcast hosted by me, Bob, that covers the gamut of all things horror, exploitation, cult, underground, experimental, transgressive, bizarre, and indie. I've been fortunate enough to connect with some of the most groundbreaking and upcoming filmmakers, writers, and artists. Don't expect a typical interview. I love shooting the shit with my guests and stumbling on surprising topics that'll literally split our heads. From splatter comedies to nihilistic sleaze, uncomfortable art house to genre classics. If it gets my brain buzzing and cracking wide open like a watermelon full of blood, then I would like to share it with your ears. Now a part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network. Hi, Mom.
The following podcast will contain spoilers, tangents, hot takes, and excessive foul language. Viewer discretion is advised. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back to Frightmares Podcast. I'm your host, Austin Proctor, and joining me today for episode 391 is my good friend, Derek Ferrero. is my beautiful wife, Gabrielle Proctor.
Hello.
Hello again.
You're welcome.
The emotional weight I have to carry around from not only making you watch this, Derek watch this, and anybody else who's listening to this episode, I have to just carry that around with me for the rest of
If it helps, we've definitely watched worse movies. This movie had faults, but not in the Jesus kind of way.
Okay, so we have two totally different views on this.
It was a bad movie. I'm just
Yes.
saying that we've watched worse movies.
And it pisses me off. We'll get into it. Today on the last installment of Julycanthropes Howl, we're discussing our wild card pick, and boy, that's right on the nose. Very wild card. Werewolves on Wheels from 1971. I didn't write a witty one-liner about this movie. The movie is just the joke itself. It's good. God, let's see where this lands on the Nightmare Index. I think it's going to land. It's going to be way down there.
How sue you out?
So before we move on to what is arguably one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and I don't say that lightly, let's talk about some things that we've watched recently that we did like. And then we're going to end on something we did not like, unfortunately. We just had like 2 back-to-back stinkers, which is never fun. And I desperately needed a palate cleanser. So I'm like right in the middle of Frankenhooker because I had to laugh or part of me might have died. So, what have you watched since we last podcasted?
I've watched like all of this with you. Finally got to see Exit 8.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Really enjoyed
yeah.
that. We've been kind of.
Thank you to Alliance Entertainment.
Yeah, we watched Curse together. Always a delight.
Which ultimately should have. That's my wild card recommendation.
Yeah,
it was gonna be on the show for a wild card, but we've already both seen it and love it. So the whole thing with the wild card is no one's supposed to have seen it. That's why it's a wild card, because it's either going to be good or bad. So yeah, I will second that. I did end up giving Cursed a bump up from a 3 to a 4.
Oh.
Yeah.
We have been watching. Oh, that's what we got to watch tonight. We got to watch the next Spider-Man. Because we've been rewatching the Spider-Mans in preparation for the new movie, which I've heard great things about. Very excited. My 2 favorite heroes are Batman and Spider-Man, and I know that they're the most popular. I don't care.
I don't care.
But then, yeah, mostly kids' movies and true crime with you. Currently trying to convince you to watch Moulin Rouge.
Maybe. I'm so torn on Baz Luhrmann, only because I know, but you know, you start with Romeo plus Juliet, which you're either going to be very much into or very much not into. I'll let people decide where they think I'm at, and that, you know.
Moulin Rouge is a totally different bag.
It's the same director.
But yeah, it's a totally different bag.
I don't know how
and
to
if
feel.
it's just, if Romeo and Juliet is too much,
Entirely
you watch
too
strictly
much.
Ballroom because it was an older one of his films. It's more toned down. I mean, you still got some of that like exaggerated acting, which really just makes it so fun to watch.
True.
But it's much more compressed. There's not crazy amounts of stylized things outside of the ballroom dancing costumes. Now, if you liked how stylized Romeo and Juliet was, but the pacing maybe was just a little too jarring for you, but you really liked how he did set design, or like how he chose his set designs and like how it felt like its own little pocket world, Moulin Rouge tones it down a bit. You've still got people who are really passionate, but they are passionate about throwing a musical on at the Moulin Rouge. And you've got a beautiful love story rolling through.
Sorry, go ahead.
And it's an original story. So I think Romeo and Juliet can really throw people off. I personally love it, but
That's what I'm saying. There's the split right there. You love it or you hate it. And I remember when we were watching this, like 2 minutes in, I was like, are they going to be rhyming the whole time? And you said yes. And I was like, I give up. Or, sorry, not rhyming.
Iambic pentameter.
Yeah.
But I love that they did that because
No.
you still get what's going on. And I think that was Baz Luhrmann's point, is he was trying to prove that you could still follow the movie without throwing it fully into modern language.
Point proven. 100%. Not for me.
Yeah.
I'm
They don't.
good.
Everybody speaks pretty modern in Moulin Rouge.
It's like that episode of How I Met Your Mother where the entire episode they rhyme, and 2 seconds into that episode I skip it every time because I'll go fucking crazy. I don't know. That's just my ADHD, OCD, LMNOP brain. So I don't remember where I stopped talking movie wise last episode. So
you were on the 24th.
well, I know we talked about Deep Water, right? We had to.
We did.
Okay,
And
so
we
then
talked about Jack's back.
So then I'll talk about Dead Media because I've got an upcoming, I don't even know if I've mentioned this yet. Shit, I'm so out of it. This movie literally fucked my brain so bad. So Dead Media is a new movie coming out this year, horror movie, indie movie. I spoke to the director recently after I watched said movie. It's a very good 90s nostalgia trip. It's got a movie in a movie. I think I did a TikTok on it. That's why I'm all confused. Yeah. So you can go check out my, Insta TikTok video on it. It's really good. And not just saying that because I'm interviewing the director. If you've listened to this show before, you know that I pick movies that I enjoy and try to talk to people that made it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dead Media. It's a good time. It should be available for streaming by now, I think. I'll have to check on that. I got to catch up with my cult movie challenges here. I watched Invasion of the Body Snatchers for Rare Lust Week. Good. If you're confused, don't worry, so am I. But Rare Lust is an online archive, and it's a community dedicated to preserving and sharing rare, obscure, cult, and vintage films, which are typically often hard to find mainstream streaming. So the OG Body Snatchers from 1956, really good time. Shockingly, because you know how like The Blob and The Thing, the original movies aren't like that great, but the 80s remakes are amazing.
Yeah.
Like the original Fly was a great movie, and the remake by Cronenberg was ultimately better, I think. But this was actually really solid. So much so that I put on the remake directly after when you were out with the kiddo and compared them like basically side by side, and they were very similar, but obviously very different at the same time. But I ended up giving the original a 4, where the new one, which we've reviewed on this show, is at a 4.5. But I was wildly impressed with the original. I want to show that to you at some point.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
Very good, especially for it being in the 50s. Watched Howl, which is definitely an underrated werewolf movie from 2015. I believe it's from the UK. It only has a 2.6, but I really enjoy it. It's an entire train full of people that I think they get stopped out. I can't remember what happens to the train, but they stop in the middle of
I remember that
they
one,
stop
yeah.
in the middle of nowhere and then like get invaded by fucking. It's like Train to Busan, except the train is stopped and there's werewolves.
So yeah.
So not like it at all. Yeah. So that one was good. 3.5 stars for Howl. Then yeah, you already talked about Jack's Back. What was my review for Jack's Back? Oh, that was a horror movie. That was such a strange movie. And then we watched Cursed. What was we watched a couple true crimes. What were they? I want to talk about them for a second. We watched Toxic, the love.
Toxic love story.
I just haven't rated and reviewed them yet. That was a brand new one on Netflix, right?
Yes, that had just dropped on Netflix.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that one was crazy. Just everybody's the problem, but maybe not everybody. But okay, so two-thirds of the people are the problem.
My crazy matches you. That's all I could think about is the Deadpool line, my crazy matches your crazy. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That deserved, I think, multiple episodes because they crammed so much into it.
And that was what the part I didn't like is they crammed some stuff into it. They skipped over some things.
Right.
And then I felt like we were kind of left hanging about some stuff.
I'm starting to actually rate my documentaries by this one really was the deciding factor of like it probably one of the wildest ones I've seen, but ultimately needed more time to breathe. They crammed so much in there.
And I see you that as the wildest and raise you the Kings of Tupelo.
Oh God,
that was crime saga. Also wild, but again, they kind of dropped off some not plot points, but like things that were happening that they made parts of like whole episodes around and then just didn't really get around to how those things panned out.
Yeah, it reminded me very much of Tiger King. We're watching this. I'm like, this is about as wild. Like
nothing will ever be as wild as Tiger King.
Well, no, I'm saying I was getting from the main guy with the conspiracy.
Oh yeah,
yeah, because I was getting vibes of Joe King from him, just with how bizarre he was. I love a good conspiracy theory. Don't get me wrong, but man. This one was out there, and also, I don't think it ever got answered. I don't think the question ever got answered. So, and then we watched another one. What was the other one we watched? Was that the Mariah one?
Yeah, you already talked about that.
I thought we watched. Okay, maybe I'm misremembering.
No.
Oh no, Tupelo and the other ones.
Yeah, Tupelo took us a while. It was more episodes than we were.
It was 3 or 4. Was that a new one for this year too?
No, it was 2024.
Oh, 2024. Okay. Well, usually we kill more time than that, but there's no sense in wasting time because I want to get this discussion. This is one of the rare times I'm not excited to talk about a movie, but here we are. So I guess let's roll into the body count. This is also what happens when you're on back-to-back episodes because I couldn't make it work with other people.
I've been watching Schitt's Creek, so I don't have as many movies.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You're in a show. You did mention that, like last time when you were bragging about your stats. You were like, I could get sucked into a show.
And I am.
And you are. So this is Werewolves on Wheels from 1971, which came out November 19th of that year in the U.S. It is rated R for moderate sex and nudity, moderate violence and gore, mild profanity, moderate alcohol, drugs, and smoking. I would say that's severe. They're drinking in almost every scene. And mild, frightening, and intense scenes. Thank God it's only an hour and 20 minutes. Don't ask me why it's listed as only a horror movie. Was the horror in the room with us?
There were those bits, then the times that sort of happened.
Is it the trauma that I'm left with? Is that the horror?
I mean, maybe.
This movie mentally abused me, and I don't appreciate it. It's like God. Directed by Michael Levisque, who only directed 4 other movies. I wonder why. And only one other movie has a poster. It's called Sweet Sugar from 1972. Written by David M. Kaufman. Forgot to check the relation to Lloyd Kaufman. Could you help me out on that? Who also wrote 3 total movies. And the only other one with a poster on IMDb is called Girls on the Road, 1972. And the same thing goes for Michael Levisque. Wrote 3. Only one has a poster called Girls on the Road. Composed by Don Gear, who also composed Sweet Sugar. And that is the extent of his credits. That's it. Cinematography by Isidore Mankowski, who also did the cinematography for Scream.
There's no relation.
Huh?
No relation.
Oh, no relation? Also did the cinematography for Scream, Blackula Scream, Carrie, although technically uncredited, and then the Muppet Movie. So he took a huge step up.
Yep.
Good for him. Edited by Peter Parashels, who also edited Don Quixote and 17 other movies I haven't heard of. Then we have starring Steve Oliver as Adam, who's most famous for The Naked Zoo as Terry Shaw.
Okay.
Silence. Just utter silence. Donna Anderson as Helen, who was also in Count Yorga Vampire as Donna. Okay. Gene Shalit as Taro, even though everyone was calling him Taro, which pissed me the hell off. Not even pronouncing it right. Or am I pronouncing it wrong? It's tarot, right?
It's tarot. Also, I think it's really hilarious. They just like Lost Boys this shit. We're going to give you names based on that thing you're into.
Yep. And he was also in, funny enough, The Velvet Vampire as Carl Stoker. Oh, that was the other thing I forgot to talk about. Whatever, it's fine. My other cult movie challenge I haven't rated yet. Billy Gray as Phil, who was also in the original The Day the Earth Stood Still, as Bobby Benson. Someone spent $265,000 on this. I don't even understand how it cost that much. It was basically a dude in the back of his van getting 47 motorcycle montages. Worldwide box office gross of NA, probably because it didn't go to cinema. I don't know. Filmed in California, but every city had video commentary or desert sands underneath it. So I don't know what part of California, because like literally every city it listed had video commentary.
Perfect.
So I'm like, cool. You can watch this on Tubi, Pluto, and Plex. Movies that came out around the same time. I never thought I would say I would rather watch A Clockwork Orange than another movie, but here we are. Dirty Harry, The French Connection, Harold and Maude, Cabaret, The Last Picture Show, Fiddler on the Roof, Macbeth, and Dracula vs. Frankenstein. Yes, Dracula vs. Frankenstein is a very real movie. So
I've seen 3 of those.
A Clockwork Orange.
Yep.
Fiddler on the Roof.
Yep.
And Cabaret.
Yeah.
That was easy. I think that might have been the easiest one.
One day I'll get you to watch Fiddler on the Roof, but you have to be emotionally prepared for the back half of that movie.
And have about a day and a half to watch it, because it's like
the first half is so good, and it's like the songs are just, you'll hear the songs and be like, oh, I've heard this before, because they, like, even Gwen Stefani sampled a song when she was going through her Harajuku era, that if I were...
Say that again?
The Harajuku?
Harajuku?
Yeah, where she had the 4 girls that she was treating like props instead of people to follow her around, the 4 Japanese girls.
Sure.
When she did her solo career.
Oh.
And she sampled "If I Were a Rich Man," "If I Were a Rich Girl." That's that song. Obviously, she changed a lot of lyrics, but
if I was your boyfriend, that's all I can think of is from Sing.
Not that. But yeah. So, but it's really good, and one of the guys from Flash Gordon, not Flash, is in it.
Oh.
He's the crazy scientist that shot Flash Gordon into space.
He's the savior of the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Where
anyway.
were we? What started that?
I was saying that one day I'll get you to watch Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm telling you, this movie has rotted my brain so much. I don't know who I am anymore. IMDb summary. Now I'm going to give you 2 different ones, right? I'm going to give you the one that's on IMDb, but then I'm going to give you the Tubi one, because they're similar. So this one is: a biker gang and its leader fall prey to a Satan worshiper and his cult. Okay. Sure. That happens about, 10 minutes in, but it's not really... Okay. Tubi says, a biker gang refuses to sacrifice a female rider to devil-worshipping monks, but she's been possessed anyway and turns into a werewolf every night. Fucking what?
What? Technically that is what happened, but refused is a strong word
Strong
choice,
implication.
Because I would say they rescued her, but like too late, I think would be more accurate, but they didn't actually refuse because they were unconscious.
Correct. Yeah. And then the letterbox one is entirely too long, so I'm not going to read that one. Let's move on to the autopsy. Here we are, sitting across this table as we've done many times. What are your overall thoughts?
Do you want me to just read my thoughts that I had over the course of the film?
I don't know, because this is the only time that you've taken notes and I haven't, because this movie turned my brain to fucking mush. I don't know. I kind of want to pepper them out, but I kind of want to hear you ramble them off. I just feel like everything you're going to say has a path to go down.
Probably.
So then overall thoughts for Werewolves Werewolves on Wheels.
Okay, so my first thought watching this was, this is an interesting plot idea. Not initially. When it opened up, I was like, all right, we're harassing the gas station man who was very friendly to you for reasons. I don't know, man. I get the whole we're bad, we do what we want thing with biker gangs, but if you're a dick to every gas station on the road, they're not going to want to give you the gas, and I feel like you need that to keep that train a rolling. So, pick and choose where you're going to be a dick. But
Wait, are you reading them?
no, I'm not reading.
Okay,
I was just saying about how I felt about.
I was
the
like, these
opening.
are strong.
No, I'm just talking.
Keep going.
I haven't read any of this.
Okay, good. Because I was like, are we not on the same page?
But no, the story idea of these bikers getting shit-faced, kind of stumbling into this temple situation and unintentionally setting off this chain of events and having to deal with the consequences, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I kept thinking the whole time, I can picture this movie written so much better because there were so many parts throughout this film where I'm like, a conversation here would have been really good, or developing this thing they're doing would have been so great. But like it was so underdeveloped. I'm surprised that it was as coherent as it was, which is saying a lot because if I hadn't read that blurb, I would have been more confused.
Yeah.
Because I read the Tubi blurb.
See, and I read that after the movie, and I was like, is that what was happening?
Yeah. So because I had read that, it made more sense.
Yeah. Totally. I sure. And everyone who watched it, I assume on Tubi, because Pluto and Plex suck, probably had the same thing. I didn't read that until after, because I originally started it on my Blu-ray, but there's no fucking subtitles, and that's an immediate sell to get out of my collection right off the bat. I need subtitles. If you're going to put out a movie from a boutique label and you don't at minimum have subtitles, you're failing miserably. But that's a whole nother conversation. So that was already an immediate sell because, like I said, I need subtitles. So I just started watching it on Tubi so I could have subtitles. But I didn't bother reading the synopsis because I figured it would be about the same. Wildly different synopsises, whatever. So, did you have more to say? Okay. So not great overall.
No, but it was mostly because the story was underdeveloped and the dialogue was underdeveloped. Not that the story stuff happened.
Nothing happened.
Yeah, they did. They got drunk. They had the whole Satan temple thing. Then they fuck off on their way. They're like, we're going out of town. We're going to, try to deal with it. You get your first attack. They're like, oh shit, there must be something. We need to move on somewhere else. Guy number 2 dies. Tarot there is like, hey, there's some freaky shit happening. The leader there blows him off, and he's like, no, you need to shut the fuck up about this.
He's the only one that has like a normal name. Adam, right?
Yeah. Then it really jumps to, okay, well, now we're going to prepare to fight whatever the fuck this is. We don't even know what it is. So stuff was happening. They were trying to outrun whatever. They were trying to get away from whatever. It wasn't until the second thing that they're like, maybe there is some weird shit going on. But again, because it was underwritten, that wasn't extremely clear. And it also was underutilized. A lot of their plot points were heavily underutilized. And if they had built them up more, it would have been more interesting. Because biker gang on the run from something they don't realize is in their midst, or like, trying to get away from things that they're just brushing off as normal parts of living in where they are. That's interesting. So yeah, stuff did happen. It was just underdeveloped.
I guess agree to disagree, because I guess I'm not saying nothing happened in the sense of literally nothing happened, but when I'm watching a movie and I literally had no idea what was happening. Like, I got it. Okay, they did something to Helen.
Yep.
That caused them to leave. But everything after that just seemed to be like them bumbling around. I did not get that they were trying to run from it at all.
Yeah, because the first thing they say, oh, it must have been a coyote. Yeah. Let's go. And then the second time they're like, well, he didn't trip into the fire sober. So they're arguing about whether or not the second guy.
Well, I guess the problem is no one seems concerned about anything because they're all drunk except for Tarot. And at one point, Adam's like, you're worrying everybody with all this bullshit. I'm like, are they worried? Because I don't get I get more of a sense of annoyance from the rest of the gang than anything. Yeah,
and Adam, on the other hand, is trying to keep everybody chill because he's worried about his girlfriend. But the way they did it, just like he didn't give a shit, when in reality, like if you really look at what he's doing, he's scared. He doesn't know either. And he doesn't like that somebody's making everybody else scared, and he's trying to put on a brave face for everybody else because he doesn't know what the fuck's happening.
Well, and it doesn't.
But underdeveloped character, underutilized scenes, and underutilized storyline, it makes it hard to really get into that.
Well, and the fact that no one could act their way out of a fucking paper bag. I mean, Jesus.
The only one who didn't or did was the girlfriend. She actually was fine.
Which girlfriend? Helen?
Yeah, Helen.
Okay.
She was doing fine.
But for the most part, all of the guys, their acting was more wooden than fucking Captain Redbeard's peg leg if he had one. Like, I mean, good Lord. They were all just so nonchalant about everything, getting drunk half the time. And I was like, I don't know what's going on here. This just seems like a movie about motorcycle gang. It's like there's no werewolves on wheels. There was Werewolf on Wheels.
Yeah.
There was one werewolf on a bike towards the end of the movie, and it was pitch black and couldn't see shit. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, you did have to wait the whole movie to get to where the werewolves were on the bike.
There was only one on a bike.
No, I'm saying because of how are we spoiling the ending?
Yeah, we always spoil everything.
Because when they went to go fuck up the monks, they all got changed into werewolves. You just never saw it. They're literally like, we are one. They took the sacrament, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it is implied at the end, they're all fucking werewolves now.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Which was like, oh shit, love that. Except it's underdeveloped.
I'm just saying, like in werewolf makeup, we got one.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, there was werewolves on wheels in the sense of not transformed. Have I even said my overall thoughts yet?
I thought you were doing that.
Did I?
Have you not been doing that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I think that what they did, you could literally rewrite this without actually changing the plot points.
Correct.
And make just a sick fucking werewolf movie.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me is really tempted to do that for no reason.
No, what do you mean for no reason? To live up to the title. If you're going to have a movie that's called Werewolves on Wheels, give me Werewolves on Wheels. Don't.
Who owns the right to this? I need to talk to them so I can do a script.
It's just, you're not even living up to the name of your own movie. That's crazy to me. And the poster, too. The poster of the movie is literally the last few minutes of the film. There's like a snake wrapped around. I mean, I wasn't expecting the werewolf to have a snake wrapped around him or her or whoever. But like the poster, I'm like, yo, this is a can't miss. How is this? How did you fuck this up?
I actually have like a lot of problems with that poster. One, there's no way she's hanging that way. Two, she's got her. If you zoom in on the skull, she's got her little fingers stuck up through the soft palate through this thing's nose.
Broad strokes. So if you just look at it, I'm saying like when you look at it, you're like werewolf on wheels, snake, fucking big cross.
He has no neck. I couldn't get over this. It was like, I guarantee you. Sorry, but I was like, yeah, this poster's really cool, but it's like AI. We're like, oh, this is great, and then you zoom in on shit, and then it's like this. Guarantee you. They drew this whole motorcycle and guy in the background, drew her first, drew him, realized they didn't have enough headspace between his head and her hair, so they just didn't fucking draw his neck in.
Let me see which one you're looking at, because mine might be different. Oh, no, mine's just blue. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because like, and I think it's hilarious. This is the end of the movie right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this poster is very silly. Like from a distance, cool. Close up, what the fuck is that?
So I guess in case I don't even know if I've said my overall thoughts. My overall thoughts on this movie is what happened. I guess it's not even a thought; it's a question. I don't know what happened with this movie. It had such potential. The title alone drew me in. The poster was this another thing that drew me in, and then this is what we got. It blows my mind that they messed this up so bad, and I agree with you for absolutely no reason at all other than to just live up to the name of the movie. I want to add this to the list of screenplays that I want to tackle at some point and actually do Werewolves on Wheels. Because you're right, the base idea, fantastic. Everything up to the monastery, although I wasn't in love with it. I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. And then the second they rescued Helen from monks who were apparently Satanists, which I'm pretty sure that's a conflict of interests, but I don't know. I was like, this is great. And then that's where you do basically the same intro, except maybe make the bikers a little more likable. Sure, they can be rough and tumble, but not, being a dick. Also, the fact that Mouse described what I'm assuming is his girlfriend or wife as Mama. I get you said it's a 70s colloquial term. Let's pick a different one, because when you introduce her as mama and then you stick your face in her breasts, I'm thinking we're doing incest now. So that was also very strange. Don't know what started that tangent, but I wanted to get it out before I forgot it. But you literally go to the monastery and then instead of taking a left, you take a right and you go down that path and develop it more. And you've got one hell of a story. But instead you get 13 motorcycle montages, a lot of just sexual tension between all the men, quite frankly. Like I told you, and a completely, like, I don't mean this in a derogatory way at all, but it was like the gayest group of guys that I've ever seen. And not, like I said, not in a bad way. It's like, I'm pretty sure we're all gay here.
One of my notes is actually, there are lots of men caressing each other.
Yeah, especially when...
So they're like rolling and holding each other. And then I think one of the funnier scenes was one of the guys was laying there kind of drunk, and the one sitting next to him, he's like, he says something.
He says, "Do you love me?"
Do you love me? Yeah. Like, yeah, I love you. And then he pretends to climb on top of him and try to make out with him, like he's joking around and stuff. And I was like, this would have been better if they
actually kissed.
Did actually make out. But, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, there was more sexual frustration and tension there than that,
There's more positive masculinity in that moment.
I mean, it is about positive masculinity, which is interesting, because, the 70s was full of very many things. So to have such a kind of, not gender fluidity, but like, what am I trying to say here? In a world where fluid sexuality, I guess.
No, it's not even sexual. It's not even sexual in nature. The fact that because it's so non-sexual, you've got these men who are trying to act tough, trying to be tough, but when it's just them, they're comfortable because they're their family. They're comfortable being close to each other. They're comfortable putting hands on each other, like wrestling around, and it's all non-sexual. So, it's like, yeah. It was just like, wow, they are really rolling around with each other. But really, if you look at it, it is positive in that aspect, because they're just being close and they're being friends. Like, and that doesn't really get portrayed that often, because guys keep a good foot distance between each other at all times.
Oh man, you probably don't know this, you're not a guy, but when guys went to the movies in like the early 2000s, back when you could pick your seats, and they didn't have the app, there was always that one seat buffer to make sure everyone in the theater knew that we weren't gay. Like, that was the thing we did.
That's so stupid.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's the thing that me and all my friends did. I don't know what that says about me or if that was a normal thing, but like, it was always that one, like, if me and Spencer went to the movies back when we worked at the theater, one seat buffer, like, we're not together. I don't know if that was normal, but that is something that was in my circles that was considered normal.
Oh, which is funny, because on the flip side nowadays, Heather and I just assume that other people assume that we're married to each other when we go out, because we do look like we're married to each other, and we're both wearing wedding rings. So,
well, yeah, and now I couldn't give a shit less.
Now you don't care.
It doesn't make sense to sit I want to talk to you about the movie.
I want to whisper in your ear.
Yeah, I want to whisper sweet nothings in your ear. How am I supposed to do that? A seat over. So yeah, that's how like rooted in like homophobia we were in the early 2000s.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Just as society. But for this movie to be so like I said, like pro just whatever, men.
Yeah, like they're toxic in the way that they treat other people and the way they have the biker code, but like they're still weirdly affectionate with each other. And I say weirdly as in it's weird to see, because you don't normally get that.
Especially from the 70s. It's very, very different from what's normally happening in the 70s.
Yeah.
The 70s were full of, exploitation films and grindhouse films. And I'd say it has slight exploitation towards women, because there are a lot of women just ripping their tops off for no reason.
Yes, that's actually one of my notes.
Oh, perfect. Good. Let's go right. Let's segue into that then.
I want to make a full nude movie, not like porn, where it's a normal film plot. Everyone is just nude, so maybe people will get desensitized to nudity, because between this and the nudity in that other movie that
we forgot to talk about.
I figured you were going to review it and whatnot.
I am going to review it.
The whole like, let's show a shot of her ass for what? Because she's got an ass.
Yeah.
Let's show her tits. Why? Because she's got tits. Okay. Jesus. Okay, we get it.
There was so many shots of butts, and I'm like, okay, it's a great looking butt, whatever. But like, we just don't need to see it 27 times.
Yeah, and So just like between that and this, I was just like, God, I am just tired of nudity for the sake of nudity. And I'm just like, I'm going to make an all nude film where the plot just keeps like a normal film plot. There just are no clothes.
Yeah, why not?
Maybe by the end, everyone will get over it because they're just bodies.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I've told you many times, you take one life drawing class and nudity ceases to have the same meaning to you. You go to one bathhouse and you're like, yeah, sometimes I'm nude too, whatever.
Yeah.
It means nothing. But that was one of my notes for that. I also think the wedding dress thing was really underappreciated.
The wedding dress thing.
Where she gets up, where
Who?
the girlfriend gets up.
Helen.
Yes, Helen gets up from where they're all unconscious.
Yeah.
Also, side note, wild move to just be eating and drinking stuff random monks just show up and hand you.
Hooded monks, yeah. They're just like, here's some bread and here's some wine. No.
Yeah.
Not
So,
that, you know.
Weird move on their part.
Very weird move.
They weren't the brightest. But anyway, when Helen gets up and starts running, and then it cuts back to the monks, and then it cuts back, and she's running in a wedding dress with the crown of flowers around her head. And this idea that she's already starting this transformation, she's already locked in, and she's ready to be the bride of Satan. I was like, that's actually really cool. And then she was nude, and I was like, okay, well.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is a cool shot. And then all of a sudden, like, I just up and down. I'm like, she's topless. Yeah, okay, no top. Oh, it's sheer. And she has no underwear on. Okay. Now we're just sexualizing this woman at this point.
Which it's
Perfect.
the 70s, so.
Well, yeah. And, the bras, I don't think were invented until, at least the 90s. Because 70s and 80s, no one was wearing bras. Who cares?
I mean, if you saw the bras in the 50s and 60s, you'd know why.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to wear those either. I mean,
they look pretty
They look
uncomfortable.
terrible.
But, yeah, so I did think that was really cool. I just wish they had done a little bit more with that, like pulled that further into the ritual part, and the fact that she ends up back in it again, like she is the icon for the ritual that they're being forced into. I really enjoyed that, like her being the actual, essentially a statue at that point. Yeah,
there were definitely some cool shots in this movie for sure.
Oh yeah, the charcoal face thing was so bizarre though.
Yeah, I didn't get that. I thought that was the werewolf makeup, and was like, okay.
It looks like they just smeared gray soot over their face, and it just looked really patchy and not well done, and that was bothering me.
Well, and that's the thing at the end of the movie when they're all sitting around and the camera goes to each one of them, and then they look at the camera like an 80s fucking sitcom. They all had something on their face and like these things. I was like, is this indicating that they're werewolves? Is that what this is? Because they don't make it very clear.
Yeah.
But then they also attack the werewolves that turn. So I'm like, is this werewolf on werewolf violence? What the fuck is happening here?
Yeah, what I think is what happened is
it's a lot of speculation
from
here.
Helen bites Adam.
Yeah, I know.
So I think she made him a werewolf, but he was not aware of that.
He was an unaware wolf.
Pretty much. And
that was good. I'm so proud of myself.
I mean, the reveal that he's a werewolf too, because you kind of figure she is, but the reveal that he is too, I was like, oh shit, they're both werewolves. Okay, cool.
Back up. The reveal that what I got immediate. Well, I guess because
you at this point you'll.
I was gonna say if I knew he was because Helen bit him, then I guess she would have to be. But that was so much more like vampiric because of the two bites. So
the way the bite was done was very confusing.
And also, what the fuck does devil worship have to do with werewolves?
That was one of the stronger issues for me. I think if they had kind of made up a god or something.
I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe there's some.
Not to my knowledge.
I know the pentagram. They had a pentagram, right?
Yeah, it's more related to witchcraft, less specifically to Satan.
The pentagram there's the pentagram in the original Wolfman and in Cursed. Remember that goes on the hand. So I was like, okay, maybe we're gonna do something with that. But it was something about being the bride of Satan. I'm like, what does being the bride of Satan have to do with lycanthropy?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The tie, like, there may be like a road there, but I don't think it's as close as that made it seem.
It's a bumpy road down in the forest that I don't really want to take my car down.
Yeah, you have to take some forks to get there, but I also made a note that the ritual scene sounds like the middle part of the song "The End" by The Doors.
Mm-hmm.
where it kind of sounds like they're just kind of chilling into the instruments. And I'll play it for you later, and you'll be like, yeah, that does sound like that.
Because I can't. Yeah.
And if you've heard the song, you know what I'm talking about.
There you go.
I actually wrote 2 notes about the wasted potential of this. So I said I could write this better, and I said I can't get over the wasted potential. And yeah, then I also thought it was really funny that they poked him to death with fire. He did actually get up right off and explode somehow, but the fact that they were all just kind of lightly jabbing him with fire was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and then he did get lit on fire.
Yeah, but in this case, the bike crashed over here, and then over here, he kind of exploded, and I thought that was freaking hilarious. But like I said, there's so much of this where plot-wise, you could keep these plot beats and just flesh them out and flesh the characters out and just have an absolutely sick werewolf movie. They just didn't do that.
Did you notice the part? So Helen and Mouse get attacked first and they die, and then they bury him in the sand.
Not Helen. Helen's the main chick, right?
Shirley
Yeah.
and Mouse. And then when they're getting attacked, I thought I saw like 4 shadows. I thought there was 2 werewolves or something. I don't know. But she gets the throat ripped and throws her head back and blood goes everywhere. Did you notice when later in the movie someone else got their throat ripped, they threw Shirley in there again? I'm like,
It's happening twice, guys.
What? Did they just reuse a shot? That was so strange.
I was more distracted by the fact when the hand comes around that guy to rip his throat out, you could see the wrinkling of the fabric for the arm, and it was just a full-on, like, puppet hand situation. Like,
yeah, it really did look like just an over-exaggerated puppet hand. It was huge.
The werewolf design was terrible.
See, that's where I disagree. Not all of it. If we're talking... One, I like the fact that it's bipedal. I like that. I like the face because it kind of vibed like the original Wolfman. I like the pointed ears. The hands and the feet, though, were just very straight. They were very bulky.
They felt off with the design. They felt like 2 different designs.
They felt like 2 different designs, but like the face itself, I really did enjoy. And I was like, man, it would have been cool to see so much more of this. No full moon mention, no silver bullets. Burning them, I guess, works because that's how Helen dies. And I thought Adam died too because he got lit on fire, but apparently he stopped, dropped, and rolled, and that worked. And then he got on a motorcycle to literally jump off of a sand dune and explode, which was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was.
And at the time, I didn't know that it was Helen, but when she just picks that guy up and yeets him into the fire, I cackled so loud. I don't know if you heard that.
No, I don't think
she just picks him up and it's clearly a dummy and she just yeet. I'm like, that's fucking great. It's like there's a little pocket to this movie where I'm like, that's hilarious. Like, this is great. But overall, I'm like, you're not utilizing, like, it's like back end heavy with exposition. Yeah. There's like no build up to anything. And the longer the movie goes on, the more they start talking about it, which you think would make sense. But in this case, I'm like, you haven't explained enough for me to keep up with where we're at now.
Yeah, it's like, I don't need you to actually give me every detail, but...
A detail?
Again, I'm really only following this as well as I am because I read that blurb.
Yeah, and I'm wondering... So let me see if I can get this straight, right? We got most of the plot points here. The gang gets lost. They come across the monks, who welcome them with food and wine. They all get drugged, right? The satanic cult leader picks one. He picks Helen, and he takes the hair, which clearly there was no hair in his hair. I love that scene when the guy is like taking the hair and doing this. I'm like, oh, good, look, no hair. And he puts it in his little thing. So I guess I looked online, and the cult is performing a black mass. Apparently, that's what they were doing. What is a black mass? I didn't have time to look it up because we went so quickly into this episode. Like, what is?
It's like mass,
but black,
but for Satan.
Okay.
Which usually involves some sort of sacrifice of some kind.
So they're trying to sacrifice.
Which they sacrificed a cat.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
Such a weird random thing.
Like, look, I'm not a huge fan of cats, but geez, like he I thought they killed a real cat because he just cut him like in half, and there was blood going everywhere.
Yeah.
So they interrupt this ceremony ritual, but it's too late. She's been cursed. So that's the connection I'm not getting is like, so if they were going to sacrifice her, she just would have been dead?
No, they sacrificed the cat, and then they were making her into the bride.
Okay.
I think it's unclear whether or not they would have ended up sacrificing her because they didn't have anything that implied they were going to.
Okay.
Or they were just changing her because they bring her back later. They don't sacrifice her then either. She is just at the altar to make the other guys change. And then they fuck off into the desert.
Sunset, yeah. Which is strange. Oh, no. That's vampires. Sorry.
No, but it is confusing that werewolf thing. They change at literally any given time. They're human for most of the night. There's no confirmation whether or not it has anything to do with the werewolf, with the moon, or if it's just, well, I fell asleep, so now werewolf.
Yeah. It's like, that's what I'm saying. It's so unclear. There's not enough to connect the dots for me to be like, this is exactly what happened, because I had a hard time following along this plot, and that's exactly why I went to Tubi, so I could read what they were saying, because I couldn't, like, it's a movie from 71, and the audio is not the crispest or the cleanest, so it's like, that's why I need subtitles. And, I'm doing my best. I'm like, okay, they're just kind of sitting here, they're kind of sitting there. Tarot at one point is sitting with his arms out wide, his mother taught him how to read cards, and he read cards in the beginning and said, we're all doomed or whatever. I just wanted to like this movie and have fun with it, but it couldn't even deliver on its own name. And I feel like that's the biggest flaw with this movie. I almost wanted to give it a bump up in the rating because it gave us werewolf on, like a werewolf on a motorcycle. But I'm like, no, that's base level. I shouldn't be awarding points because it didn't for 58 minutes and then it did. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Did you go through all your notes?
Yeah, that was on my notes.
Okay, let me find something else to talk about because I want to try and fill like 10 more minutes here. Oh, that's right. That's what I wanted to mention. We need to talk about the desert scene.
Which one?
You're
going to have to really narrow that shit down.
Sorry. They're driving through, back road in the desert, and all of a sudden, fog.
Yeah.
And then we get to the end of that fog, and there's a random car. And then they do this very weird shot where the camera's at the back of the car, and they go in opposite directions. And I'm like, don't know what that was. And then all of a sudden, all the bikers are just in the middle of the sand dunes.
Yeah.
What happened there? I had to rewind it because I was like, did I just fucking black out?
Yeah, I looked down for that part, and then I was like, wait, what?
They're
like, all the girls are gone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then they're just in the sand dunes, and Adam's running around trying to figure out how to get out of there. Okay, that didn't really make any sort of sense at all, so I didn't get that. And then they somehow get back on the road, and that's when Tarot and Adam have that moment where I got, again, random points where I laughed, or Tarot's like, we can't solve all our problem with our fists, and then Adam just fucking haymakers him in the side of the face to the point where he's bleeding out the side of his head. And I was like, oh, he solved that problem.
And then they biked around some more, and then they had a fight, which I thought was funny. Is like, hold on, guys, bike intermission before we get to fisticuffs.
Yeah, one, where did you come from? You were laying on the ground when everyone left.
That's what I was like, where the hell did he just come from? Was he waiting for them somehow?
Yeah, and didn't he come from like the opposite direction and just like tackled him off of his like, what's going on? But again, I want to go back to the monks too, because like monks aren't they traditionally, they don't have sex. They're what is that called? Celibacy. Yeah. They're very pure.
Yep.
So they would not be satanic worshipers, right?
No, these are satanic monks, not just like regular monks.
I know, but is that?
But to use their wardrobe, the exact same wardrobe, was a little confusing. However, not the first time I've seen that. So because I have seen in Buffy, the first evil has a lot of monks that fight on its
I guess
back.
these are just evil monks. Like, do those exist?
In movies, yeah.
In movies, so yeah, it's like I didn't know there were satanic monks. I don't really know how this curse works. Why were these bikers chosen? Was it just random chance? We see anyone else can be infected. We didn't even get a friggin' well, we got kind of a transformation. Adam falls over and then just like pops up as full werewolf. Yeah. So when you don't have any rules, you don't really necessarily have any stakes. you're not fleshing out these characters enough for me to care about them, because every time they interact with someone outside of the group, they're just complete assholes to them. So it's like, why do I like these people? I'm not really rooting for anybody except for maybe Helen, because I feel bad for her because she was the one that got chosen by these monks to be the bride of Satan. So I guess I'm rooting for her, but then she just dies at the end. So it's like, well, there goes my favorite character.
Yep.
Snuffing her out right at the end.
Well, Helen doesn't die. She's just at the altar, and then they change, and then they're gone. She's just kind of standing there. She's kind of not dead so much as she is not home anymore.
Did I miss something then? Because both of them got lit on fire.
She was in a wedding dress at the end of the movie. She was back in her wedding dress, like standing at the altar, overlooking them as they got changed. And it's kind of like the lights were on, but nobody's home.
Okay, I guess they rolled around. I mean, they were in sand, so I guess they rolled around in the sand, and I just missed that. But I mean, this movie is an hour and 20 minutes, right? You get the first glimpse of any sort of monster like 38 minutes in, and then you don't get any werewolf until about 58 minutes in, and then you get the last 5 minutes of kind of action-packed, I guess action, like the best action of the movie. I don't know. It's such a strange movie.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies. It's like, all the werewolf movies this month have been highly rated by everybody. And this is going to drag the entire month down with how poorly rated it is by us. And it upsets me because we were doing great with Werewolf Month. We were coming off the kind of the low of Kai June, because it just got worse with every movie we did, and this month has been pretty strong. And then Werewolves on Wheels had to come out and just do this. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much else to say on this. This is going to be a very short episode,
And that's okay.
I know.
It was a short movie. It was an underdeveloped plot. Sometimes there's not as much to say, and it's also okay that it's not keeping up with the rest of the films, because the reality is not every film's a winner, and you can't always have all the winners, because who's going to talk about the ones that you should not watch?
That's true. Again, I just feel bad that people have most likely watched this. I mean, hey, if you happen to like this movie, that makes me happy. There is obviously an appeal for this movie because it's got like a 2.7. Like, it doesn't have, it's not like a terrible rating. It's just mismarketed in the way that they are. The name, the poster it's not what you get. You get motorcycle montages. Like, I did like the beginning montage. That was really cool. Like, they were doing tricks and standing up. I was like, oh, this is fun. Okay. It kind of establishes them right off the bat as just this rogue fucking people. They gave me like nomadic vibes. Like, they were just out there living their best life, going to bars, getting drunk, whatever. So I really did like that opening. It was fun.
Yeah.
And then, 10, 12 montages later of them riding around with backing music, I'm like, all right, this just feels like an advertisement for Harley Davidson at this point. So, I mean, yeah, I try to find the good in everything. And I know I've said this is one of the worst movies I've seen in quite some time. And it is true, unfortunately. It's so disconnected. It does not have enough built-in lore. And mainly, I think, if it wasn't marketed as they have werewolves in it, but I'm saying if it wasn't, I don't know. You get an expectation in your head when you see werewolf in the title. Not even that like Howl. It's no werewolf in the title, but it's a werewolf movie.
Yeah.
When you have werewolf in the title, you get a certain specific idea in your head of things that should be happening. None of those things are happening. So the movie kind of shot itself in the foot because of how it is presented to you, and then you go watch it and you're like, this isn't even a werewolf movie.
Yeah.
It's confusing,
Yeah, the werewolf thing felt like almost an afterthought.
It feels like there's more werewolf stuff happening in Van Helsing at this point.
Oh, no, there is. Definitely way more.
There's like so much
plot central.
Yeah. Because I know there's vampires in that. There's werewolves, obviously.
Frankenstein monster.
Yeah. So there's like everything going on in there. They mashed a whole bunch of IPs together. So it's like, it just seems weird that a movie with werewolf in the name. I mean, they delivered on the wheels part for sure. There's a lot of wheels.
For sure.
A lot of wheels. No denying that. But you're right. I really just want to take it from the monastery and roll with it from there. Because then you can do so much stuff with it. Also, I do have a question. What was that scene when they were walking into the monastery at the end and seeing themselves in hooded robes? Is that what was going on?
I thought they were just looking at other people. I didn't get that was.
Well, because they all walked in raising something, and then they saw someone in a hooded robe, and I was like, are they seeing themselves?
I thought that was them going under a trance, like they were going to attack, but they were already kind of under the control. The monks really hadn't activated that control.
And I mean, you have this whole brotherhood too that are, I guess, already werewolves. They don't tell you if the monks are werewolves, but I
don't think they are.
No?
No, I think they're just servants of Satan.
I really got to find the Satan werewolf connection, because if it's there, cool. But you did not make it very apparent. So yeah, this is just one of those movies where I'm not the target audience, and beyond not the target audience, it didn't do anything for me. So that's where I'm at with Werewolves on Wheels. Any closing thoughts, feelings, opinions?
Nope.
I figured that. So my final thoughts here. Werewolves on Movie is not a good werewolf movie, as it barely has any werewolf movie at all going on. It feels exploitation-ish, and it's built around, like a very established horror monster. And they occasionally hint at what the movie could be throughout, and before it ultimately just meanders back to the bikers fucking around. The title itself is great, and the poster is great, but the film just never lives up to any of that. So that's where I'm at. Also, Derek asked me to play. He sent me over his thoughts since he was supposed to be on this episode. So he has a 30-second little clip of him saying his feelings, and then we'll move on.
This movie gets 1 star from me, good sir, and I'm going to let you know that I'm pretty sure this was just an excuse to ride on motorcycles, but then they decided they needed to add some sort of plot to this motorcycle montage. There was one good scene, and that is sort of when they were transforming the woman into, that was kind of cool. But outside of that, this movie is a giant waste of time, and it is a motorcycle montage. End of story.
So there's Derek's thoughts on that. Let's move into the final cut. All right, so taglines. They met the bride of Satan. Life made them hard. The devil made them monsters. Life made them hard.
Okay.
The devil made them monsters. If you're hairy, you belong on a motorbike. This gang thought it was tough till it found a new type of hell. The bride of Satan. Trivia, the bulk of the monks were played by hippies from a local commune in California. That sounds right. The gas station attendant out in the desert was a local guy who the filmmaker persuaded to play a small part in the movie. Also tracks.
Yeah, no, as soon as he was talking, I thought,
he's real.
That dude, they must have gotten the guy who owns the place.
Yeah. The majority of the film was shot in various locations without permits. Makes sense. You're in the middle of the desert. And Severn Darden improvised a lot of his black mass incantation.
That fucking tracks.
Yeah, that tracks. And the quote, "We all know how we're going to die, baby. We're going to crash and burn," is used by Rob Zombie in his song Sick Bubblegum.
Wow.
So there you go. Apparently he's a fan of this movie. Right. Goofs, there was nothing of value outside of continuity stuff, and I don't care. So this is where it gets rough. Rated 4.3 out of 10 on IMDb, which is equivalent to a 2.15 out of 5. 2.7 out of 5 on the Letterboxd, has a 0 rating on the tomato meter and a 24% audience score. What did you give this?
2.
Wow, 2. Okay. I give it a 1. Yeah. So that is, man, this might be lower than Monster Seafood Wars. Let's see. 1.97. I believe that is just about, I think Monster Seafood Wars, because I forgot to put it back on here, has a 1.91, but I will get with the corrections department on that. So 1.96 out of 5. Good times. Similar movies according to IMDb, we have Don't Torture a Duckling, The Trip, The Slayer, Black Sabbath, and The Brotherhood of Satan. That feels the most fitting. Similar movies according to Letterboxd, we have The Devil's Reign, Psychomania, The Lords of Salem, Ghost Rider, Spirit of Revenge, not even the first one, and then House of a Thousand Corpses. So that's where we're at.
Nice.
Funny reviews?
No.
Oh, you really didn't get any?
No, I finished it 4 minutes before we recorded this. What did you want from me?
All right, here we go.
You're welcome.
2 stars from Cinema Void. Easy Rider, now with 70% more facial hair. Okay, that one didn't work for you. Got it. 2 stars. Can film survive the test of time on nothing but an amazing title and poster? Realizes he's logging Werewolves on Wheels. Yes, but you gave it 2 stars, so there's that. 5 stars from William Hellfire.
Oh, geez.
1 foot in heaven and the other in hell. Do a little LSD with the devil. Movie.
I need to see what his. Can you please look up his?
Oh, it's top 4. Oh, let's do it. I love. Yep.
I need to know.
All right, top 4. Okay. Children shouldn't play with dead things.
Okay.
From 1972. Godzilla, the original.
Yep.
Werewolves on Wheels.
Oh my God.
And the New York Ripper.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's very special. But he at least gave Backrooms 4.5 stars, so he's got some taste. Oh man, I gotta follow him. That's some wild shit. I think he might be the only person with werewolves within. Damn it, Werewolves on Wheels in his top 10. I don't know. Is there a way you can see?
No.
Damn it. So I'm gonna follow him. It's so crazy because so many people are giving this 4.5 stars, 5 stars. But yeah, 1 star, 1 star from Jack. Wildly misleading. Where are the wolves? Get it?
Yes.
Where are the wolves? I guess that's all I have. I don't know.
I was going to say, how many are you reading?
Well, I don't know. You didn't get any.
That doesn't mean you need to read 20.
All right, fine. 1 more. 1 star from Zebra. The most terrifying thing about this movie is that every song is wildly offbeat.
Jesus.
Oh, God, this movie is just going to stay in my brain forever. So if you enjoy the show, please rate and review on your favorite podcast app of choice. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Slasher, Threads, and YouTube at Frightmares Podcast. Our email is stayspooky@outlook.com. You can also follow me personally on Letterboxd at Dr. Proctor. You are
Watson LMP 90.
Booyah! If you'd like to expand your movie podcast listening, be sure to check out the Shameless Picture Show, the Dead-Eyed Millennial Film Club, and 1 week rental as well. Next week / next month begins Animaugust Attack. Not my greatest, but it is what it is. Where Michael and I will be doing The Birds from 1963 as our essential pick. It is on Prime, Apple TV, Fandango, and YouTube for $3.99. I find it crazy that a Hitchcock movie is that hard to find. Seems weird. But yeah, for Animaugust, we're not doing, I said this before, we're not doing all crocodiles and sharks and shit. We're doing animals that typically wouldn't be attacking.
Yeah.
Like birds. They don't, anyways. So that's going to be our essential pick for next month. I assume Micah will be with me. If I can make it work, hopefully he can be here. So until then, stay tuned and
stay spooky.
Thank you for listening. To hear more shows from the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, please select the link in the description